Hi, I'm Peter Travers, Rolling Stone, and I'm here to tell you what's at the movies this big 4th of July weekend. And the big movie, and listen, don't tell me it's Transformers 2. I know it's out there. If you want to go, go. I'm going to talk about an actual good movie, which is called Public Enemies, directed by Michael Mann and starring Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. Johnny Depp in this movie is playing John Dillinger. This is the gangster of the 1930s, which is the whole period where you had Bonnie and Clyde, where you had Ma Barker and the gang. But the focus that Michael Mann puts on this movie is on Johnny Depp's John Dillinger. And before I say any more about it, I have to say right away, this is a movie made by a real filmmaker. I know, Michael Mann, Michael Bay, you don't confuse the two. And that means he wants you to watch it. He doesn't want to tell you. He's not going to tell you the history of John Dillinger and of Melvin Purvis, the FBI agent that shot him down in front of the Biograph Theater in Chicago in 1934. You'll see it. So Michael Mann is saying, I trust the audience to look at what's going on. When we see Johnny Depp, he's breaking out of prison as John Dillinger, and he has been in prison for 9 years. When you consider that this is a guy who was shot down and killed when he was 31 years old, we realize that he hasn't had much of a life except with criminals. They've told him what to be. And what Michael Mann also shows you in this movie is that John Dillinger went to the movies a lot, all the time, more than me even. Maybe I'll start shooting people, I don't know. But he got the glamorous idea of gangsters from the movies. He watched Clark Gable movies, he watched everything, and he wanted to be like that. So when he gets to Chicago, he says to Marion Cotillard, who plays a hat-check girl named Billy Frechette, who says, what do you want? And he says, I want everything, now. This is understandable. Does this mean that Michael Mann and Johnny Depp have made a hero of Dillinger? I don't think so. They just realized that this is a guy who's robbing banks in the Depression. Does this sound familiar to any of you out there? Do we love banks? I don't think so. So it's a movie that says something about now and says something about then and is about behavior. So watch that behavior. Christian Bale, we all remember our friend from The Dark Knight. When you're an FBI agent, are you boring? Is this the dull character? Not in this case, because what Christian Bale is playing is a guy who has to work for J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover is as corrupt as anybody you could ever see, so he's got a corrupt boss. Johnny Depp is an old-fashioned bank robber at a period when the mob was moving in, organized crime controlling everything else. So we're watching complex men leading corrupting lives, and we look at their faces. So I want you to look especially at a scene in the movie where Johnny Depp is at the movies watching Clark Gable in a movie called Manhattan Melodrama, and watch what he's absorbing. And when you come out of this movie, talk about it. You will, because it's that good.
Every time I read about one of your bank jobs, when you give the customers back their money, you crack me up.
The whole country thinks you're a goddamn hero. Who gives a damn what the public likes?
I do.
Where are you going?
Anywhere I want. I'm gonna take you with me.
All of it now!
We're having too good a time today. We ain't thinking about tomorrow.
I'm going to come back to this movie at another time. I think a couple of weeks in when more of you have seen it, and do something rare with this kind of podcast and bring up some other individual scenes that I don't want to spoil for you. But this, Public Enemies, is a good one, and I think Johnny Depp is as good as we have out there now in terms of acting. So it's time, scumbucket time. Boy, I've got so many, but I'm going to concentrate on a movie called My Sister's Keeper, which is opening wide this weekend. It was a huge bestseller. Please, God, make it possible that I'm never forced to be in a place where I have to read this horrible tearjerker. But I have to say there was a premise there. Cameron Diaz and Jason Patric are married. They have children, and they have a little girl who has leukemia. So they decide to have another child, who's played by Abigail Breslin of Little Miss Sunshine. They decide to have her so they can use her blood for transfusions for the sick girl, and also use her for transplants. And the interesting idea behind that is this little girl goes to a lawyer, played by Alec Baldwin, and says, I want the rights to my own body. Who are my parents? They can't really raise me to do this kind of thing. And I thought, well, okay, maybe this is going to be okay. Wrong. Nick Cassavetes, the director, uses every tear-jerking trick in the book, and at the end, he just pulls the rug out from under you. Horrible. So I'm sorry, it's scumbucket time for My Sister's Keeper. And I'm going to also start something else, which I hope I can continue all summer, and talk about little aspects of Transformers 2 that have their special place in the scumbucket. And this is the two new robots in the movie who are causing a great deal of controversy in that they seem as if they are African-American stereotypes. Michael Bay said, I don't know what you're talking about. These robots aren't really stereotypes. One of them has a gold tooth, and they all speak in this kind of slang language that is clear who they are. The screenwriters themselves said that it's not their idea. They said Michael Bay thought of this. So, Michael, these two robots, go in there with your movie. This is your little individual scumbucket time. Be happy. I'm Peter Travers.